Welcome to Tainan City, Taiwan. Taiwan is the world's 25th largest economy and one of the most vibrant cultures in all of Asia. It's also a place where uniquely traditional Chinese herbalism and modern technology meet. That's important to the story I'm here to share with you. In the previous video, I hope that I convinced you that intermittent fasting is the single most powerful lifestyle change you can make to improve your health and extend your lifespan. In study after study, scientists have proven that intermittent fasting delays and may even reverse the leading causes of death in America today. In the most recent data available, approximately 2.6 million Americans die each year. Of those, 23.5% are from cardiovascular disease, making it the #1 killer. The #2 spot is cancer, responsible for 22.5% of deaths. Add to that stroke, Alzheimer's, diabetes, and kidney disease, and you will have accounted for 58.9% of deaths in America each year. And yes, intermittent fasting may have prevented many of those. Now, I'm not claiming that intermittent fasting will save 1.5 million lives a year all by itself, but we do know that intermittent fasting greatly reduces your chances of having these illnesses, and if you already have one of these conditions, intermittent fasting may very well heal you. Even though science has proven conclusively the power of intermittent fasting, most people aren't doing it yet. And among those who have discovered fasting, research shows that in a clinical environment, 64.6% of fasters fail. In the real world, it's probably more like 80 or 90%. The leading two causes are hunger and lack of energy. And that brings me to why we're here today. I've discovered a secret that makes fasting easy, that relieves the gnawing hunger, and will have you feeling as energetic as when you were a teenager. Armed with this secret, you can succeed at fasting and have the health benefits that we've been talking about.
I began my search for something to make fasting easier by studying old Taoist texts about fasting and meditation and Chinese medical books. I discovered that Taoist monks did indeed use an herbal decoction to help them fast.
As an herbalist, I've made lots of decoctions. It's a classic way to prepare herbs, and it's particularly common in Chinese medicine. You basically take the herbs and put them in a pot and cook them for hours until they reach a thick consistency.
This traditional formula contains dozens of different herbs, including poria, atractylotis, licorice root, alisma, and romania.
Taken as a whole, this is a powerful combination of herbs. You could very well take it for the health benefits alone, but we developed this specific combination to help fasting. It includes appetite suppressants, adaptogens to balance the neuroendocrine system, and powerful qi boosters to make sure you won't lack for energy.
Unfortunately, it's a complex and time-consuming formula to prepare. It's a combination of dried leaves, fruits, and roots. The herbs are added to the decoction in a specific sequence, in just the right proportions, and at different temperatures. Mess up any of the details and it's just not as effective.
There was another problem, a problem that if I had thought about it, might have stopped me from trying to make this formula available to the public at all.
Not only is the process complex, it takes 36 hours to prepare, not counting all the prep work.
My family's used to me stinking up the house while I prepare a decoction, but my goal isn't to make fasting easier for myself. I want to make fasting easy for everybody. I knew I needed help. Then I remembered a conversation that I'd had with an herbalist from Taiwan. Traditional Chinese medicine is as popular here as Western medicine, but the practice of herbalism in Taiwan has developed a unique twist.
Most people in Taiwan are covered by national health insurance. Because traditional Chinese medicine is so popular, insurance plans cover traditional medicine and herbs. However, the insurance company won't pay for herbal medications unless they meet the same quality and production standards as pharmaceuticals.
A new breed of herbalist has evolved here in Taiwan. Instead of handing you a bag of herbs and telling you to brew it at home, they prepare the traditional herbal formula and then use a technology called supercritical extraction to make a powder that's exactly the same as the classic formula in terms of function and compounds, yet the contents are precisely controlled and the quality is far superior. Essentially, they're making an instant version of the classic formula with the advantages that it's pharmaceutical grade and rigorously tested to maximize potency and effectiveness. I contacted the company who pioneered these techniques, a company that actually began here 5 generations ago as a small local herb shop, and asked them could they make my formula for me.
Next up, we're going to visit their facility. I want you to meet one of the herbalists that I've been working with.
Well, Obviously, this is not a tiny herb shop anymore. This is a state-of-the-art herbal company. They're USDA organic certified and certified for pharmaceutical manufacturing processes. Every batch of herbs that goes through that door is DNA authenticated and tested for pesticides, chemical residues, chemical fertilizers, and common biocontaminants. Let's go meet Mr. Liu. He's one of the herbalists that we've been working with on this project. Well, thank you for agreeing to do the interview with us. Were you always interested in traditional Chinese medicine?
My training background is that I have a degree in nutrition. Where Chinese medicine is concerned, it's a very effective way to maintain a healthy diet. So that's why I decided to become part of this industry.
And since you're a nutritionist, I'd just be curious to hear your opinion of fasting.
In general, a lot of people in Taiwan respect fasting. Most people believe that we have to eat breakfast, and then we should eat a light lunch, and then not eat dinner.
And this formula that we're working on together is specifically to help people who are fasting. Can you talk a little bit about what your and your team's priorities were as you were working on this formula?
In truth, Chinese and Western medicine are a little different. And in Chinese medicine, when we think about fasting and think about how to control our diet, the liver and spleen are an extremely important part of that. Digestion is related to the spleen and the stomach. So we need to strengthen the spleen and the stomach. The amount and duration of the energy you receive from food will be optimized so you can better deal with your fasting.
Can you talk a little bit about your process to make sure that this formula is safe for our customers to drink?
For our manufacturing, we follow the PICS GMP standard. Everything in the manufacturing process, the cooking, the packaging, even down to the delivery and so on, it all follows very strict guidelines, including checks for heavy metals, pesticides, and toxins.
I personally put a lot of effort into recreating and finding this formula, and it's important to me that we respect it. But can you talk a little bit about why it's important to work with a classic formula versus, for example, extracts?
Well, this is interesting. All the individual ingredients in Chinese medicine have their own characteristics, and their capabilities are different. And of course, if I eat all the ingredients individually, this may have a similar taste and effect as the formula. But maybe we won't be able to achieve the exact effects that we can when mixing the ingredients together. This is an important discovery in how Chinese medicine helps us recuperate. The small differences from the mixing of the formula can end up being the thing that results in a big impact on my health.
Thank you very much for your time, and I'm really looking forward to tasting what you guys have come up with. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Here we are on the production floor. In this room, they sort and prepare the herbs. This is a real hands-on process. The herbs arrive in big bags, and then trained people hand sift through the herbs to make sure that the harvested herbs meet their standards. The herbs are then dried and ground for extraction. That huge silver tank is the supersized version of the pots and pans I use in my own herbal practice. It's vacuum sealed, and the temperatures are precisely controlled. They'll introduce each herbal ingredient at exactly the right time and temperature. Many of the active ingredients in herbs are essential oils. These folks have a patent for a system that recovers 82% of the essential oils and aromatics. That makes the end product much more potent. That thing that looks like a lunar lander sprays nanoparticles of the finished formula onto a water-soluble organic base. They'll put the resulting product through another series of quality checks and then put it into individual packets.
You know, I've got to say, I'm very impressed. It's not the scale of things that impresses me. I've been in other commercial production facilities like this. It's the insane amount of control they have over every step of the process, the amazing quality control that they have, and most of all, the obvious respect they have for recreating these traditional Chinese formulas in this new format. So now we're in the tasting room, and the team here has been kind enough to prepare a test batch of our formula for us. Now, what you see here didn't go through all of that equipment that we saw earlier. They have a lab test set up where they can produce a few pounds at a time. And the team here has prepared this batch based on the formula that I provided to them. And this is the first time that I'm going to be tasting it in this format. So I'm excited. Let's give it a go. All right. Great. Cheers. Yeah, I like it. It's, no one's going to mistake it for tea. You definitely understand it. You're drinking something for your health. but there's some, it's a nice flavor. There's some herbs that really pop out at me. I can taste the ginseng, which adds a little bit of bitterness. There's an herb in here called cornus. Cornus gives a slightly sour taste. And there's an herb-based fruit here called jujube that's also naturally sweet. So, the overall combination is light, definitely herbal taste with slightly sweet and sour. I like it. Good job. Okay.